Perfect. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to be adopted. Hey everyone, I'm Annie. So I have some kind of big news. I've been single and dating for a while, but big news, guys, I found a husband. Good cheer, it's okay, I found a husband. Yes, thank you. He's not my husband. He's someone else's, but finders keepers. So yeah, and technically he is separated, which really means that you go off and fuck other people for about a year until you realize that the dating pool is more of a garbage fire, and then you just go back to the trash that you know. So yeah, but dating is tough nowadays because there's really only two ways to meet people. You can either meet someone online or in your wildest dreams. So this guy though, I actually met in real life, which is wild. So my friends and I, last year, we went to Mardi Gras for the first time. And if you're over the age of 30, don't go to Mardi Gras. Yeah, there's nothing there for you. No, you're too old. People were throwing beads at me to keep my tits covered up. At one point I tried to flash this group of frat boys and they were like, "Excuse me, ma'am, no thank you." And I was like, "Come on, just one nipple?" They're like, "We heard from the bar up the street that you showed all three. We're all set. We're not interested." I was like, "It's a birthmark, give me one more chance." They didn't want it. They just didn't want that, no. But, in Mardi Gras, the guy that I actually met, he was a police officer. And during Mardi Gras, the police officers, they ride around on horseback to patrol Bourbon Street, which is kind of cool. It's like a little romantic. And honestly, I highly recommend meeting a guy while he's riding on horseback for a few reasons. One, he's already looking at you at that like optimal MySpace photo angle, which really makes you look cute. Second, comparison-wise, if you're standing next to a horse, you look really small. And I have really big teeth, so that definitely worked in my favor. Yeah. And then finally, too, if this guy is riding around on a large animal, God knows that he's fine with this large animal riding around on him. So again, it really worked out in my favor. And it was so romantic. It was like I was out of a movie. I was standing under a streetlight, smoking a cigarette next to a dumpster and a pile of vomit. And he looked at me from like atop his noble steed, and he was like, "Hello, beautiful." And in my sexiest voice, I looked at him and I was like, "I like that horse between your legs." Because I know how to get a man. And it was really cute. Like, he dismounted from the horse and he asked for my number, and I gave it to him. And then we were texting all night, and at one point he admitted to me that when he asked for my number, he was like a little bit nervous and that he didn't save it in his phone correctly. So what he did is he reviewed his body cam footage. I know. And I was like, "Oh my God, the taxpayers are paying to help me get laid? This is why I vote Democrat. I love it. This is awesome." So cute. So anyways, then something crazy happened. This is a real story. So I'm at Bourbon Street, Mardi Gras, and there was a shooting that happened. It was really scary, and it was chaotic too. Like, people were running, and it was like a stampede, and it was craziness. And my friends and I managed to get out of the chaos and went back to our Airbnb. And later on, Sergeant Charlie, that's what we'll call him. That's also his name, so we can call him that. But he's texting me and he's like, "Annie, are you okay? Like, can I come by and check on you to make sure you're all right?" And I was like, "Absolutely. Like, come on by to my Airbnb. I know I don't really know you, but you're a stranger, so show on up." And so he gets to the door, and I open the door, and we look at each other, and we kiss. It was so romantic. And then I looked at his hand, and it was all swollen. And I'm like, "What happened?" And he's like, "Well, during all the chaos, I broke my finger." And I was like, "Oh my God," I was so concerned. And I looked at him, I'm like, "Are you okay? Because I was really hoping you were gonna finger blast me tonight. Is your other hand gonna work?" I just wanted to make sure that we were on the same page. He He tells me now that he still can't make a fist the way he used to. But, that's part of the cost of love, you know?